welcome to my allotment plots on this really lovely sunny afternoon in April. I recently took on a allotment plot. I don't know the exact size of it. I do need to do a bit of measuring, but it's not humongous, but it's not small either. It's a lovely size. Towards the end of last year, in October to be precise, just as the season was winding down. So I have just been doing a bit of preparation and getting things ready for my first growing year. So I will show you around my plot quickly, and I plan to continue preparing an area where I'm going to plant some asparagus, hopefully soon, because the time is now to plant them, and I don't want to be leaving it too much longer. So I will show you the plot and start preparing the asparagus bed. So I'll start the garden tour from the shed spot, and this area to the left is almost the walkway around the plot that I have to keep maintained for other plot holders to walk around. But I do have a spot that's in the corner of the allotment plot, so nobody really so far anyway walks around here. And then same to this right hand side of the plot. So starting here is a gorgeous apple tree with lots of blossom. I did give this a prune a couple of months ago, kind of doing a lot of guesswork with where to cut it. I mean, I read some information in books, but I haven't pruned an apple tree before. But I just try to open up the centre a lot and let air in, and it seems to be doing well. There's so much blossom, so I am quite happy with the results so far. We'll see if there are any apples in the autumn. And here are what is my big no-dig bed. I say no-dig, it was originally two smaller beds that had been dug over by the previous plot holder for sure. And what I'm doing is I've added lots of compost and wood chip to the beds so that it will be no-dig going forward. I've also extended the bed out there to the end. This is a crabapple tree, I believe, which is rather large, and I probably should have cut it back a little bit, but yeah, a job for another time. There's a rhubarb that I planted earlier in the year, and I forced it, which I should not have done, because now it's flopped over and it's looking a bit sad and munched in places. But lesson learned, don't force a new rhubarb, because now I can't cut it anyway, because you're not meant to cut the first year rhubarb. This was an existing compost bay, and there was another bay of compost there that's been used for the beds, and sadly I am having to dig this to prepare it for the asparagus because there's a lot of bindweed, but I'm planning on turning that into a asparagus bed, so I will be doing a little bit more prep today, but I think this might take me into tomorrow as well. And then this is the boundary line here up to the corner, pallet bay over there. Pallet bay? Pallet collar raised bed. So this is more rhubarb, which I did not realise was here before I planted more. It's definitely overgrown with competing raspberries and weeds and grass, which I'm sorting out, but I'm hoping I can get a little bit of tasty rhubarb this season. And here we have lots and lots of autumn flowering raspberries, which we're just going over as I got my plot, but there were so many, so I'm looking forward to those this year. There's a doggo in the background if you can spot him. And then we have a buddleia, which I did have to cut back because it was ginormous. And there's lots of flowers here. I can see a hardy geranium, but I don't really know what the others are. And a asparagus. No, not an asparagus. I've got asparagus on the mind. A artichoke that I'd planted before Christmas, and I've just had it covered. And I will uncover it once the last frost is over. And then this corner is the end, and I've recently made a new no-dig bed for some asparagus there. Now this I think is a nut tree on the left, and then we have a medlar, and I definitely need to tidy that up at some point. I've probably missed the boat this year, but it's a gorgeous tree, and we did have some fruits last year. This gauge was already here, and did have some purple sprouting broccoli growing in it last year and some sprouts. I will share my plans for the year another day and give a little bit more detail about what was here before versus what I'd like to do. But this is just a pallet box that we had from our floor delivery of stone, which has been really helpful because I've been keeping some wood chip in there. And then we've got another tree there which I'm not sure what it is, and again with these two little trees there, and this is on my neighbour's plot. And then in this corner was, I think in the very corner of the corner, the previous plot holder had it as a wildflower area, which is really lovely, but I would like to add some beds here, so I'm just covering over the grass with some weed membrane that was already here for now. And then finally, featuring the doggo, and the clouds have come over, which is a little bit disappointing because it's been such a nice day, is the existing polytunnel cage that was here already. I've got a cover for it, I put the cover on and it's blown away already. Well, not blown away, it blew off, so I've got it in the shed at the moment, which I will soon be putting back on. And then finally, two plum trees. Which there's a little bit of blossom, which I'm very much looking forward to having some plums this year. So, I better get digging. This is what I am currently finding. This is probably the biggest bit that I have found so far, but this is the bindweed. I might come to regret trying to plant asparagus in here because I don't like competition with weeds or anything, but my theory is it hasn't probably ever been cleared, so it should be okay, but we'll live and learn. But yeah, I'm just slowly trying to dig out the weeds and just sorting it through here. The good thing is it does look quite well drained considering we're on a clay site. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on trying to make some headway with this bindweed before being in a position to do some planting. I'm trying my best to tease the bindweed out with my hands, because the more you break it and leave little bits in the ground, it will just grow back from even the smallest bit, apparently. I've never suffered with bindweed in my garden or previous garden, but now I know what it is. I can see it here. It's not too bad, it's not in the main bed or in the cage from what I can see, but it's in this area and where the raspberries are, so I'll have to do a bit of weeding through there too. But yeah, it's slow progress. It's definitely takes a lot of patience. Clearing that area for the asparagus is quite time-consuming, but every little helps. My plan at the moment is to just chip away at it and do a little bit every day. I think I've hit the worst bit today. I've not come across that much in one go, and I think I got to the root of it, I'm not sure. So hopefully now I've taken a lot of that out, the rest will be easier, and I haven't got too far left to go now to have cleared the area, because I'd still like to keep some area for another compost bin. So I'm going to put it where the rusty tin tub is. I can't think what that's called. Anyway, I still hope I'm going to shimmy the asparagus over there. Anyway, I feel like I've not done much today. I might do a little bit more soil prepping. The dog is super bored now. I mean, it's looking at me like, are we actually going to go for a walk, or are you going to just make me sit here watching you dig 4 hours? So I better go and give Bruno some attention, take him for a little walk and head home. Thank you ever so much for watching this first video of mine, and if you have enjoyed and would like to see more of how this plot develops over this growing season, then I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe. But that is all for today. Thanks again. See you. Bye.